Hello and welcome to another video. So as you can see, I am in a little bit of a different surrounding. I have just moved and I've finally settled in, finally unpacked, and I'm ready to kind of show you my little art area. Basically the house that we've moved into is in this lovely valley. It's full of trees and amazing scenery, as you can see behind me here. Like, just look at this. It's incredible out there. Like, that's the scene from, that's the view from the top window. It's absolutely amazing. And basically the house that we're in was advertised as a 2-bedroom house, and it turns out it was 3-bedroom. And one of the bedrooms is technically a study, although it does have a pull-out sofa, and so my girlfriend and I, we share that room as kind of where we put all our hobby stuff. So, but because I have the most amount of stuff, it's kind of my art room basically. So I'll give you a little tour around there and show you around, and let you see where I'm going to be based, and yeah, so I'll take you in there now. Okay, so this is an overview of the room here. The house that we're in is a very old house. We have wooden windows, single glazing, every floor is wooden, there's no carpets, and as you can see the floorboards are worn. It's very old basically, that's the only word I can really say for it. It's old. There's paint splatters, there's peeling wallpaper, but I think for the money that we're paying to be in this house, the area we're in is absolutely stunning, and I probably wouldn't choose anywhere else to live really. Yes, and so we actually, neither of us own any furniture other than a desk and that set of bookshelf over there, and so we always have to move into kind of furnished areas because we don't really want to be buying furniture at the moment at our age. So all of this furniture in here is already here, and so it's very mismatched, and surprisingly I think the study in here has the best furniture in terms of matching sort of things, other than the desk. So anyway, yeah, so like I said, I'm sharing this with my girlfriend, so some of this stuff is hers. The keyboard's mine. I don't play that often. My girlfriend plays a bit more than me now, so the guitars are also hers. This cupboard I'm not going to open because it's just full of the cardboard boxes we used to move in. It's just storage really there, but I'll start over in that corner and then move this way. So this is the pull-out bed. This is Bunny. And like I said a moment ago, this set, I don't know why I keep calling it a set, this bookshelf is ours. We purchased this when we were in the apartment before, and again predominantly this is my girlfriend. She's got all her comics at the bottom, and I've got a few art books on that side, so I'll show you a bit closer. So there's a colouring book here, a Renoir book from Paris. This is Learning to Draw Dragons. Some more kind of like mythical books, another dragon book there. Colour and Light, this is a really good book here. This is my engineering book that my family got me. A bit further up are bead mags here. I've got a fairy drawing book here. This is quite cool, by Linda Ravenscroft. This is my sketchbook that I've been doing a lot of mystical, since I was quite young, mystical drawings in. I'll do a tour of that soon. A writing book, how to draw comics, a sketchbook. I think that's basically it for the bookshelf. That's mine. On top I've just got this storage here that just has plain paper in for my printer, and this is my Lego Wally because I love him and he's adorable. And yes, my family bought me this, well my brother bought me this, and I made it because I love Lego and I love Wally. Yes, moving over. So my printer sits here. It's a really old printer. It's absolutely terrible. I'd never print anything valuable other than stuff I need to send off for like forms or pictures that I need to copy off that I don't care that the colour's not matching, that sort of thing. Just some woolen felt. Mum bought me this a long time ago and I just love it. I've never used them because I think it's too pretty to use, just how nice they are. I think these came from Paper and String, a blogger I used to follow, and she now has a shop, quite a famous shop. You should check her out, that's quite cool. My decoupaged little pen holder, which usually holds a few kind of good pens in there. I'll go along the top first. Yes, so over here, this is like my beading section. All of this has beading supplies in, because before I started this YouTube channel, I actually really enjoyed beading. It was kind of like my main hobby, and it's what I would always do basically. And so I've got tons and tons of beads. This is just full of packets of beads. I've still got loads back at home with my family because I just don't have the room for them yet. This is full of kind of like wire and elastic and twine and cords. Again, this is also full of wire. Just move that. This one, I think this is full of findings. Yes, this has got all my kind of like, oh, they're absolutely packed, I can't even get that out. This is full of kind of findings, like things that you connect the ends of a bracelet with, and earrings and such things. This one this one's full of kind of coordinated boxes and Tupperwares of beads. So I've got like a red one, orange, as you can see, kind of like stuff like this. So basically a storage for my tiny beads. Let's just move this. This at the bottom here, this usually just contains a mismatch of beads and storage. It's got some storage for my gemstone beads in there that I make these gemstone trees out of, which I sell in a shop in Huddersfield. Yeah, so that's that. I have, just move all this back here. Oh. I have these little Tupperware storage boxes here and here. These just contain all of my glass beads, all colour coordinated, so these obviously correspond to the colour that's in them, so purples, pinks, blues, blah, 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 etc. So they're the larger of the glass beads, these are the smaller of the glass beads. And then we've just got, you know, additional little bits that don't fit in there. A packet that this is like tea that we got from Paris and it's empty now, and so it's got kind of all my scroller box stickers in. Yes, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen my little fairy gardens. Here, that one's in the middle of doing that, continuing it. This little guy here, and there's a teeny tiny one up here. Sorry about the lighting in the room down here. It's a bit dark underneath the window. And then these are obviously some more pots that I'm going to do some more of these in. Moving along, we have, this is my book binding little station full of all the book binding stuff. So it's got, move that over. It's got a book that's got lots of papers in. This is kind of I think it's, what's it called? It's Wild at Heart. So it's kind of got manly. I know that's a bit stereotyping, I suppose, and sexist. But it's got very brown and natural looking papers in there, which I really like personally. Okay, they're not manly. I don't know why I said that, but they are very brown and more masculine than the, you know, stereotypical feminine pinky floral kind of papers, so I really like that. Some card. I use wrapping paper to make a book, which I'll show you over at the desk in a moment. Yeah, so I'm just testing some new card out because I ran out of my really thick card and I don't know where I got it from, so I'm just testing different thicknesses of card. I've got some bamboo cord which I was sent by a cousin, which I use for the thread because it's very thick and strong. This is a ruler and some slidable cutters for my craft mat, and this is a circle cutter for my craft mat as well. I can't remember how much detail I went into in my last workspace tour, but yeah, I'll go into more detail in this one just in case. This is my glass pen that I got from Paris. No, it's not. Oh, is it coming? So I always keep this in its box just because I don't like to keep it out in case I break it, because it's very precious to me and I love making art in it. So up here is another Lego item. It's one of those mini ones. It's actually a T-Rex. It's very fragile. It's not proper Lego, so this is something I painted a while ago in a previous video. And this box here is actually my acrylic box. You'll have seen it kind of in the backdrops of my acrylic paintings, but I can never get it into full shots, so it's yeah, this is what it looks like. So basically I got some chalk in there, it's all mismatched. But this is kind of my gouache section here, and underneath that is actually all my acrylics. So yes, there's, do you know, the acrylics I've gotten in scroller boxes, some System 3 acrylics, just like a set of colours, and then these are my Galleria Winsor & Newton acrylics that I bought individually. Most of them I kind of took from my mother. Sorry mum, but yes, they're my acrylics, and I do love my acrylics very much so. And I'd love to get some more, but I want to work with what I've got at the moment because they're starting to dry up because I'm not using them quick enough. I've left these empty for my girlfriend just to fill. Over here, this is kind of important documents. In this box here, again, this was all came with it. This is just all my electronics, so battery chargers, my Gorilla tripod, my hard drive strapped to my camera, this little camera pod stand thing, glue gun, soldering iron, selfie stick, and then some other cables and cameras and things like that in there. Excuse me. In here, this is empty. In here, this has kind of postage stuff, some canvas paper, some card crafting stamps and papers here, and some gold leaf, I think, for my clay work. Down here is kind of like miscellaneous clay sort of things. Over here, this is my beading and clay section of this. So up here we've got kind of, this is for like catching your beads in it without this pink thing in, and then you open this section up at the end here and you can pour your beads into small pots and things. It's quite handy. This has pliers in it. Let me sit on the floor. Let me take these out. So this has pliers in it, just in, oh, slippers, just in there, so that's just a set of pliers. I think I got that with a subscription to my bead mag or something, a year's subscription. This is a Craftmate storage for beads. It's quite handy. As you can see by the quantity of beads, and I've told you already that I have beads still at home with my family, that I did really enjoy beading and I really miss it, and I'm going to get back into it, I think. But when I do feel crafty, YouTubing kind of takes over a little. So I'm going to try produce content and do things like that. This is actually a fishing tackle box, but they are the perfect storage. So if you do beading, I suggest getting fishing tackle boxes. In that up there is actually some smaller versions of this box that I have some little beads in, and I really would suggest getting those because they're really handy. So these, this is dedicated to my small... Anyway, this is dedicated to my smallest bead type, which is a size 15 rather than the usual seed beads size 11. And they are very, very small, and I have very, very small bugle beads as well because I make little beaded spiders out of them. I know that doesn't sound like the thing that most people want, but they are really, really cute and really pretty. I'll maybe post a picture of some that I might make soon up on Instagram, so if you want to see those, just go and follow me on there. I do actually post a lot of my clay and beading stuff on there just because obviously it's my art thing, but I don't tend to make videos out of those because they're just not something I would make videos out of at the moment. But do let me know if you want to see certain things, and I'll see what I can do. There's also some duo beads in there, and some beads I got from Paris because there was a shop there and I was a bit obsessed. I still am. I could probably still go back there and buy beads even though I don't use them. So yeah, that's that box. This also has pliers in, I won't get out. This has spare bits of clay in. This is my bead threader, so you put your beads in there, you spin it around, you get a curved needle and the beads go onto the needle a bit easier. This has all of my clay in, this box here. These are my clay making tools, and in here is kind of slate and stones that the stones are to mount my gemstone trees on, and the slate and this terracotta pot along with those other terracotta pots are what I use to make my little fairy gardens out of clay. So I'll put all this back. Like I said, if you do want to see, sorry about that, I don't know when that decided to turn off, but I don't know where I finished either and where it cut off. So anyway, if you do want to see some beadwork, just let me know in the comments and I'll see what I do. I just don't like showing some of it because some of it's my own designs and I sell them in shops and I don't really want people to know how to make them sometimes. But if you do want to know, I'll see what I can do. I might be able to show some things. Down here, this is just my box for my Yetee microphone. And that wasn't in my last haul because my brother just recently gave me this. Hole punch, all my brushes for my painting, some cheap paints, just big tubes just for big paintings, and my paint palette. Over here, this is all of my markers. So you've seen, if you follow me on Instagram, like I said, Instagram literally has all my updates and things like that on it, so I really would recommend following me on there if you do want to see some stuff. But on Instagram I showed my entire collection of pro markers on there because I recently did an order on Cowling and Wilcox, and this is the entire thing. So I'll show you one of them because I don't want to open them all, but I filled them so much that all of them have the outer pocket full of pro markers as well, and inside looks like this. So as you can see, all of them are full like that. 3, 6, 9, 12. So 24 in each inside, and then outside there's approximately another 12 on there. So there's 3 full inside and out of pro markers. Yeah, all colour coordinated, of course. And then this little bunch here is also full of... Sorry again, my camera keeps overheating for some reason. Again, this little bunch here is pro markers as well, all my greys. In this pencil case is all my Copic markers. There's a few overflow Copic markers here. the 3 markers I got in my scrawler box, and then these are just some really cheap markers that I use for blending, and a few skin tones there, just because I can't seem to find skin tones at the moment that I can afford. And finally, in this section, this is where I have all my sketchbooks. So here on the right are my plain kind of like pads of paper. So there's watercolour paper, there's mixed media paper, Bristol board, black paper, yeah, stuff like that. And then moving along, we've got Loish's art book here. I've got just a pink pig. I've actually got 2 pink pigs, this purple one and this green one. Pink pig sketchbooks made in Huddersfield nearby. This is a black pad. This is just I think it's a W.H. Smith kind of sketch pad. There's a how to paint watercolour book here. Sorry about the seasickness that you might be getting here. This is like cellophane sheets. I think they used to do them for projectors. And then this has my study stuff in from university there. Okay, and I'll just get up and take you over here. So down here, this has exactly what it says on there. It has a craft lap station. It's a very heavy one, but I use it if I'm going to be working in a different room and I don't have all my, you know, surface, nice flat surface. It also has some big pads of paper in there, I think, and yeah, I think that might be all that's in there. Just a black lamp because I don't know what to do with it. That's my GCSE work in there, which I've shown in a previous video. I've got my easel, some more wrapping paper that I use for bookbinding, my yoga mat, my extension leads with kind of a USB splitter, my camera battery stuff. Ooh. Yeah, and then this craft lamp, which I used to use as my lamp for filming, but I've recently got a new one which I'll show in a second. And this is my camera for Twitch streaming, and I recently tested my Twitch stream, but I'm on the top floor in this room. The internet hub is right at the bottom floor, and also I'm streaming off this laptop which is 4 years old. It's a bit slow and my CPU usage is off the room, mixing those up. And so my stream was a little bit laggy, but it wasn't too bad. People were able to hear me speak, and yeah, so if you see me streaming, I am on Twitch, so you can come and see me on that. So this is the camera I use to film my artwork, and I just bend this over as additional light and filming camera because my setup now causes that camera to be too high above my work, so I need it a bit closer and maybe at an angle from now on, so that's what I've done there. So as I said, the furnished area came with this very old desk and old chair, and it's actually quite a nice desk. It's a little high for me when I'm sat on this chair, but it's not too bad. It makes me sit up a bit straight with my posture, so that's not a bad thing. So I'll go on top of the desk first. So this is a wireless keyboard for my iPad in case I do work on my iPad. Just some hand sanitizer, some dandelion salve that me and my mum made, which is quite nice. A figure man dude. My laptop, iPad, headphones in case I'm listening to something and I need to be a bit quiet. And in a previous video you saw my setup used to be just my old tripod kind of hung at an angle to make it an overhead filming, but since then my brother gave me this, and I think it's Nuka or something. It's a kind of a tripod, but it has this top section here that has a ring light connected to it where I can connect my camera here, and this is the perfect height, I'll just turn it on. So you turn it on back here and it bends at this pivot here, and this is like the perfect little ring light for going over my work. So it's really, really handy, and I'm really fortunate that my brother gave me it. Otherwise I'd still be filming with my old setup, which wasn't a bad setup. I'd probably still be able to film with that now, so but that's my new setup there. I've got my craft mat, knife, ruler, things like that. My Blue Yetee speaker over here. I've got, this is the handmade book I made with wrapping paper. It's, the card inside needed to be a bit stiffer, but yeah, that's that. This is a handmade book I just made out of some of that other card paper, which is, you've seen in a previous video twice. These are just miscellaneous liner pens, Pigma Microns, paintbrushes, rulers, scissors. This has like fountain pens in, palette knives, things like that. Just my pencil case that has all my go-to kind of pens and stuff in. Just some sticky notepads. My Henry Hoover desk hoover, which is quite handy. I'm just in the middle of doing some watercolour painting, so that's why all my watercolour painting stuff's out. My chair I've covered with a pillow, like a head pillow, sleeping pillow, and a blanket that my mum crocheted for me. So in these drawers, the ones on the right are all empty because I just didn't have anything to go in them. So this is just a testament to show how we were in a very small apartment before, and now we're in a very large house that we're not even filling any of the storage. Like over there is a bookshelf, I haven't put anything in it. So I'll go through these drawers, but one thing I will say about this desk, it's so handy. At the top of these desks it has these little drawers, and they're very deep. You pull them out like that, and I have extra working space, and it's, you can press that down quite a bit, so I could put kind of like watercolour stuff on there, or my pens, and be able to work in a free desk space over there, which is really handy, and I'm quite happy with that. So just sit down so I can go through all of this. So the top drawer, as you can see, it's a very deep drawer. My top drawer always is my stationery drawer, whichever desk I have. My desk from my previous video is just in storage because we already have this desk, so that's put away. So I have in here is just lots of pencils that I just sharpened, some calculators. This is my uni pencil case that has pens, pencils, and, you know, usual. So like I said, stationery, so it's just, you know, Sharpies, some Jelly Roll pens, some Uni Posca pens, some Stabilo fine liners, some scissors, pencils, more liners, and then your usual kind of like elastic bands, hole punch, Tipp-Ex, rubbers, yeah, tape, washi tape, stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically in the stationery drawer. And then the next drawer, this has more of the art supply sort of stuff. So I've got my watercolour palette that contains this. This has all my watercolour tubes in it that go into this palette. So this is a selection of watercolours that I know that I want to use in my paintings. So it's just a specific selection rather than a pre-made one. I've got my Moleskine, another palette for when I've filled that one, my Koi watercolour palette from my Scrawler box, my Winsor & Newton travel palette, a black Copic wide and a refill for black, just other watercolours. This has got all my pencil crayons, and you will have seen in a previous video. Chalk from a Scrawler box, all of my acrylic inks. These actually can't stand up because they're a bit higher than this. This actually knocks them over every time, so I kind of So I need something deeper for those, I think, because I don't want them to always be on the side in case they decide to leak. But I haven't used these in a while and they're a bit separated, so that's not good. But yeah, all my acrylic inks, there's FW and Liquitex there. Down in this has more of my beading supplies, bigger beads, so bigger packets of beads. So I've got pink and black, that was for a wedding order I did a while ago for some stuff. Some more thread, wire, some little pots that I pour my beads into to allow me to be able to access them if they're in bags. This is paint to touch up the apartment when we left. Yes, just miscellaneous kind of beading supplies in there. And then this last deep one, oh, this is a really stiff one, but this is a shocker block full of my art kind of booky stuff. So I've got like my cheap arts for cheap art supply challenge. I'm going to do another one of those videos, so look out for that one. Some oil pastels, some chalk pastels, some mini canvases, just some, you know, barrel pens, some more cheap pencils for the cheap art supply challenge, some watercolour pencils, some random pens, some more cheap art supplies. This has got my protractors in, this is metallic pens, some blank cards for doing artwork on, pencils, wax crayons, some more handmade books here. This is my leather book that I do my realism challenge stuff in, which you might see very soon. Some writing books, my watercolour landscape book for main projects, some books I made like my landscape watercolour mixed media book there, some sketchbooks in the back here. Yeah, that's it, and some spray varnish, some glue and some watercolour varnish there. So that is it for this art room tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's not too long. I tried to rush through it a lot. Give me a comment if you want to see some beading stuff, if you want to see, I don't know, anything I've mentioned in here. If you want to see a video on something particularly, give me a message. Yes, so thank you for watching, and make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.